So the good news, you do not have vocab cards this unit. It's a very short unit, so I don't feel like there's enough time for you to do cards. Tay, put your phone up, thank you. But also, you shouldn't need to do cards because you already have an example of all of these in your notebook, okay? So I'm gonna go through this vocab list, just make sure we all understand what the words are. And if you want to write down examples that I write, that would probably be very smart, because then you can use it on your quiz and test. Yeah, sure. All right. Parabola, the shape of a quadratic equation. Can y'all show me with your hands what a parabola looks like? Oh, I like it. They said a U. Does it have to face up? It can also face down. Very good. So you can draw a right side up U or an upside down U. I would write it down so you can use it, but that's up to you. Oh, why are you asking me after I'm already teaching? Catch it. Can you catch it? Curtis, can you catch this? Not the allergies. Is everybody good? Okay, well, let me pause because now y'all messing up. Now, I had somebody in tutoring ask a really good question. Not many of y'all came to tutoring. I actually did it on Friday as well. But somebody in tutoring had a great question. They asked, why can't a parabola face sideways? I don't want you to write this, I want you to look. Can anybody tell me why a quadratic, listen to what I'm about to say, why a quadratic function can't be sideways? Go. I love her so much. Extra credit. Remember the function test we did back in Unit 1? If you try to draw a line through this, how many times does it touch that graph? That's not okay. Miss Poole's husband ain't allowed to touch two different women, right? That's not a function. Do y'all remember learning that? So a quadratic can't be sideways. It has to be up or down so that it passes the vertical line test, the function test. I thought that was a great question they asked on Friday. All right, axis of symmetry is the imaginary line. Can somebody tell me where the line goes through? Straight through the middle, through the x-axis. So good. The axis of symmetry is always going to be a x equals vertical line that goes right through the middle. We do remember that from Friday, right? Some of y'all did really good on Friday's work and some of y'all did not do so hot. So I want to make sure we're okay. All right, where's the vertex at? Like, let me draw this for y'all. Can somebody tell me where the vertex would be?
The lowest or highest point?
Yeah, so it's I heard somebody say the turning point. It's like the tip of it, right? Where the two sides meet. So it'll either be at the bottom or the top, depending on how your graph looks, right? So this one's opening up, which means the vertex is at the bottom. Look at the picture, children. It's at the bottom. Good. Now, maximum is when the vertex is at the top. So that would look like this. A minimum is where it's at the bottom. Y'all remember doing that Friday? Okay, just making sure we're good to go. All right, love y'all. If y'all miss this on the test, I'm gonna be upset with you. Good Lord. Or not, I keep calling it a test now. It's a quiz. X-intercepts are where the graph touches the x-axis, not the y, the x. And it's called an x-intercept because it's where it intersects the x-axis. Now remember, it can also be called zeros or roots, or there's the fourth word right there, solutions. X-intercepts, zeros, roots, solutions. They all mean the same thing. You're going to look where it touches the x-axis. Do y'all remember that those four words all mean the same thing? Okay, good. All right, I feel like this is a no-brainer now. The y-intercept is where it touches the y-axis. There you go. Everybody okay with that? Okay, and so then the last two, these are the ones that are new, and we're going to actually learn about these. I just decided tomorrow, because it's easier for me to teach you about these when I can use Desmos, okay? But what I need y'all to know, is everybody looking? Tay, you with me, babe? The domain is all of the X values. And I think we actually did this back in unit 1 where I had you list out all the X values. And then I had you list out all the Y's. Yes. Some of y'all don't know because you didn't do your work, R4. Domain is all of the X values. The range is all of the Y values. We'll learn more about those tomorrow, but this is your vocab list. I feel like we should be good not doing cards because you have examples for all of these already. Wasn't that nice of me? Yes, it was. All right, I'm going to pause. Were there any off of Friday or yesterday's Delta math that y'all needed me to go over? So now you can look at your computer. That means, so when I ask for the roots, what am I asking for? X what? Intercepts, extra credit. Everybody, roots just means X intercepts. So when this says number of roots, I'm just asking you how many times it touches the X axis. So y'all look, which axis is the X axis? Good, the horizontal one, the one that has an X by it, y'all. Highlight your X axis. How many times does that touch? Only once. Good, so number of roots should just be 1. Curtis, you with me, baby? And then I like what Gwyneth said, direction of opening. It starts at the top and it opens down. This is number 8. Stay with me. Is the vertex a max or a min? A max, because it's at the top. Does that help? A lot of y'all missed the number of roots parts because you tried to put that the root was -2, 0. It just says number. I didn't want to know what it was. Now, if I asked you what it was, then you should have gotten the point, -2, and it goes up or down none, so 0. Does that help with number 8? You're good? I got a lot of y'all that look really sleepy, so I'm going to tell you once today, and then I'm going to leave you alone because let me interrupt your beauty sleep. If you are not paying attention today, and right now when I'm reviewing the stuff from Friday, you're going to be stuck tomorrow and Thursday. If you're paying attention, tomorrow and Thursday are going to be the easiest days all semester. So I need you to pay attention to that. Capiche? All right, y'all said y'all would. Why do y'all think I gave you a factoring review yesterday? Oh, she's smart, because we're going to factor today. Factoring did not go away. We do it in this unit too. Don't say, oh, most of y'all that took the factoring test and turned in your work did really well on it. I was proud of you, okay? So factoring, how do you factor a trinomial? What do you always check for first? GCF, y'all, there is no number in front of the x squared. There's not going to be a GCF. So let's review. How do we factor a trinomial next? What comes next? A sandwich. I heard somebody maybe say sandwich. If not, that's what you should have said. And we break it down. Break down the bread. So what are factors of x squared? There we go. What are factors? And let's go ahead and use our noggins. Factors of 28. Don't blurt them out yet. That you can subtract. Don't blurt it out yet. To make 3. 7 and 4. 7 times 4 makes 28, and if you subtract them, you get a 3 in the middle, right? All right, you good. You can't do that kind of stuff today. I didn't take my medicine. I'm going to automatically look at you and be like, what is happening over there? X is in the front, 7 and 4 is in the back, right? Okay, y'all, listen, if you messed up on these on the test, you messed up the signs like I told you we're going to do. A lot of you that got a 60 or a 70 something, all your numbers were right. You messed up your signs. Okay, if we're subtracting, what kind of sign should I have?
Different.
Different. Now listen, the 3 is negative, so which one of these has to be negative? The bigger one should always match the middle, which means the 4 is, there y'all go. That's all you had to do for this one. That's review from last unit, and I'm so glad she asked for this one. Any other questions before we start notes today? 3. All right, so listen, after we finish notes on page 41, this is where I need you to put your Unit 5 vocab list. If you are someone at home and you don't have a printer, I do need you to copy that down on page 41. It shouldn't take you long. They're short words and short definitions. And then page 42, I could not print off notes for today. That's because they're short. It's really just examples. So page 42, what we're going to be talking about today is finding quadratic solutions by hand. By hand, which means shown work. Okay, so we're talking about finding solutions by hand. It's not hard. You actually already should know how to do it. So finding solutions by hand, this is going to take something we learned in Unit 1, and it's going to take something we learned last unit and put them together. So it's really nothing new. Is everybody okay with that? Everybody's good? All right, so let's talk about it. When I ask you to find solutions, what am I asking for? Okay, solutions, write this down. Solutions equal roots. I heard somebody say zeros, which all mean what? X-intercepts. Very good. So y'all listen, when I'm asking you for the solutions by hand, we're really just talking about the X-intercepts. And I taught y'all way back in Unit 1 how to find X-intercepts by hand. And it's okay if you don't remember because we're going to review today. But when they ask you to find the solutions, they're just asking you to find the X-intercepts without graphing, because you can find them without graphing. Is everybody good with that? Yeah? Okay. So this is where the fun part comes in. How do y'all think we can find these by hand? If I said it takes something from last unit, what did we do last unit? We factored. If we're talking about quadratics, okay, a quadratic means it's squared, right? The exponent is a 2. And then how did we break down something that was squared last unit? We factored it, right? So when you find solutions for quadratics, you're just going to factor, okay? If you were good with factoring, you'll be good with this. That's it. So it's really, like I said, it's really nothing to do. So we're going to write down steps just so you have them, because I know some of y'all are steps people, and then we're just going to do lots of examples. You'll be good with this. Your test was really good, just some of the signs were switched. If I show you, you'll be mad. We did have like no, not 7, that's too much. 5 people make A's on the test. I was like, okay, brainiacs. And that's not the people who cheated. That's like 5 of you that were sitting in here that I was watching do it. You did good. We have done this before. We found X-intercepts by hand in Unit 1. So step 1, if we are finding an X-intercept, I'm hoping we don't just blurt out something crazy because it's going to make me really sad. My 3rd period was doing that today, so y'all don't say crazy stuff. If you don't know, just don't answer. If it's an X-intercept, remember we just said this, the number goes in for the X, right? What should the Y be?
0.
Good. 0. The 0 is going to go in for the Y. So your first step is to put 0 in for the Y. Then your second step is going to be to factor the quadratic. And then the last step, which believe it or not is actually the part y'all will mess up on, which makes me sad. You're going to solve for the X-intercepts by setting each factor equal to the 0. So I'm going to pause while y'all are finishing writing, and then if you got any questions, feel free to ask them while I'm paused. So we're going to put 0 in for the y because it's an x-intercept, which means the y should be 0, right, Tay? Right? Don't fall asleep on me, girl. Put 0 in for the y. Then we're going to factor, and then you just take each factor and you set it equal to the 0 when you solve for the x. And that'll tell you what the x-intercepts are. It's not anything new. We actually found x-intercepts by hand in unit 1, and then we factored last unit, so we're just taking the two and combining. Y'all ready to see an example so you can see what I'm talking about? All right, let's do this one. Let's see. I'll start off with a, you want to start off with a binomial or a trinomial? Bi, all right. Example 1. So this is the quadratic they give you. Does everybody agree that's a quadratic? How do y'all know? Because it's squared. Very good. Quadratic means squared. There's two sides, right? You got two quads in your legs. You remember me saying that, Curtis? Bird, put that phone up. I don't care. I love you, granddaddy, but I don't care. Your math is more important right now. All right, so it's quadratic, and they ask you for the x-intercepts. What is your first step? Put 0 in for y. That's your first step we wrote down. You're going to put a 0 in for y because it's an x-intercept. So instead of a y right here, what am I going to write? 0. 0 equals x squared minus 64. What's your second step? Factor. Now, y'all, let's be smart here. Can you factor 0? That's not the side I'm talking about. Which side are you going to factor? It says quadratic. The side that is squared. So this is where we got to remember how to factor. It's a binomial. First, you always check for what? GCF. Is there going to be one? No, there's no number in front of x squared, so no GCF. So now how do we break down a binomial? Split it how? Perfect squares. Extra credit, Shy. Good job, baby. My online people, we're going to split them into perfect squares. If they don't split into perfect squares and there's no GCF, can you factor it? No, and guess what? That just means there's no x-intercepts. It means it doesn't touch the x-axis, and we had some of those on Friday, didn't we? Oh, Lord, some of you look like we didn't. Let me draw you a picture real quick. Do you guys remember on Friday there was one on Delta Math and on your worksheet that looked like this? Can everybody see my picture?
Yeah.
Yeah, it's not the one I told you not to do. It doesn't touch the x-axis, so there's just no x-intercepts. If you get one that won't factor, that just means there's no x-intercepts. Okay? Now, you think I'm going to give you one that doesn't factor? No, because I want you to factor. Exactly. How does this break down into perfect squares? X and X. What about 64? 8 and 8. Dang, y'all going to let them get all the extra credit. Sean, I know you know how to do this. Your test grade was good. Rodney, you too. Tay, you too. Josh, literally everybody's test grade was pretty good. X and X, 8 and 8. I'm going to start calling on people just for fun because I can. Chandler, where do the X's go? That boy said, why am I first? In the front. Y'all remember it breaks down into 2 parentheses, right? Okay, Chandler said X is in the front. Sean, where my 8s go, baby? In the back. Tay, what kind of signs do I need if it was subtracting? Different. A plus and a minus. Doesn't matter where you put those. No. Good. Y'all are so smart. It is easy. Now, here's where it's going to change. Is everybody ready? And that change, we're just adding on to it. That was step 2. What does step 3 say? Set each factor equal to the 0 we set it equal to, right? So everybody look, that literally just means you're going to take x plus 8, equal it to 0. So watch, x plus 8 equals 0. And we're going to solve. You better not act like you don't know how to do that. My 7th grade niece can do this. Oh boy. Let's review. Draw your wall. Cover your X. What do I move? Oh. How do you move a positive 8? Subtract it. So what is X going to equal? What's 0 minus 8? If I got $0 and then I try to give somebody 8, that's negative $8. Good God, y'all. X equals negative 8. That's one of your x-intercepts. So one of them is going to cross at negative 8. So now you got to do the same thing for the other one. So I'm going to take this x minus 8. What do you do with it? Equal it to 0, because the y will be 0 if it's an intercept, right? Are you writing this down, baby? Okay. You doing the other one with us? X minus 8 equals 0. Draw your wall. Cover x. How do we move a negative 8? Plus 8. Josh, you with me, babe? Okay, I'm just making sure you're real quiet today. X is 8. Now, this is Miss Poole being picky, but it's not because I can be picky. It's because I teach math too, and I know how you're going to have to write it in math too. So I really hope you're listening. You cannot leave it like this in math too. You're not supposed to leave it like this in math 1 either, but some of these other teachers don't listen to me. Like I'm not the instructional coach or something. It's fine. If it's an x-intercept, is it an equation or is it a point? A point. An x-intercept is the points where it touches the x-axis, right? So I need you to write these as ordered pairs. That's how you should write your answers. They're intercepts, they're points. So everybody look, if x is negative 8, what did we make the y equal to? 0. You set it equal to 0. If we got x is positive 8, what's the y equal to? 0. Guess what, y'all? Here's your 2x intercepts. That's your solutions. It's not. It takes what we did in Unit 1, puts it with Unit 4. Question. Is positive. I need to see your work. So there was a question, and I'm not supposed to say this, so let me pause. Let's do a trinomial. Actually, we'll do another binomial, and then I'll do a trinomial. The trinomials are fun. Why y'all making sound effects? I don't understand. Math is fun. There's always a right answer. You're problem solving. All right, what's our very first step if they tell me to find the solutions? Put 0 in for y. Very good. So is everybody good with me saying 0 equals x squared minus 6x? All right. What's your step 2? You factor, and what do we always check for first when we factor? A GCF. Y'all, if there's a GCF and you don't take it out, you're going to get the wrong solutions. Did everybody hear me say that? I'm letting you know. I told you that last unit. I'll tell you again. Is there a GCF? Really?
It is. X is a GCF.
Yes. Good. David Tay. Skylar. Extra credit. There is a GCF. They both have a X. That says x squared, which means it's got how many x's? 2. This says x, so it's got an x. If they both have an x, that means you got to do what? Take one out. Yes. So everybody look, we're going to factor. This is our GCF. They both have an x. I'm going to take x out. If you did not do well on the test, I was kind of sad because most of y'all that didn't do very well, it was on GCF. So we got to make sure we understand if they both have an x, you have to take it out. That is the greatest common factor. Who did I lose with this one? Okay, where did I lose you? Do you agree they both have an X in common? Then you got to take it out. It's the same as with numbers. They got a letter in common. It has to come out. Otherwise, you're not going to get the right solutions. Okay? So now I took the X out. What would be left? When I divide this X, what would be left? 1X, because X squared, you take 1 out. How many are left? 1. So 1X. What happens with the X's in the second part? They do cancel. So Gwyneth, what are we just left with? What kind of 6? Negative. So y'all, this is what you get when you factor this one. X parenthesis X minus 6. Now let me ask y'all a question. Look inside the parentheses. That's still a binomial, but are they perfect squares? Nope. So you're done. That's your factors. X and X minus 6. That should give
Hold on. What happened to the 0 though?
What happened to the what, baby?
The 0.
You're jumping ahead of me. I was about to do that.
Oh.
You're good. You're just ready to find the answer. He's like, this is a lot of work. So listen, that's my 2 factors. Does everybody agree those are the 2 things, the 2 factors? So your step 3, what do I set each of them equal to? Set them equal to 0. Now y'all listen, because every year a kid leaves this one off. This is the easiest one. That's the first factor. Set it equal to 0. What are you going to get? X equals 0. That's the easiest one. There ain't nothing to do. That's your first one. That's your first x-intercept. So that means it's going to cross at 0, right? Now, how do I find this other one? Set it equal to what, David?
0.
There you go. X minus 6 equals 0. Draw your wallsy. Cover your X, because some of y'all are going to mess this up. I just know it. How do you move a negative 6?
Plus 6.
Plus 6. Good. Am I going too fast for anybody? I need y'all to let me know. So what do you get, Skylar? X equals what, baby? Was 0 plus 6. Good. So who can tell me? I'm going to give y'all a second. I still see people writing. Who can tell me for extra credit? You're going to raise your hand. If you're on Zoom, you're going to just say me. Who can tell me how I would write the final answers as ordered pairs? Oh, I saw Shia first. What you got, baby? What are my ordered pairs? 0, 0, which means that it crosses at the origin, right? And then 6, 0. Great job, girly. Those are your 2 x-intercepts. I know, baby. You sound real bad, too. Is everybody okay? Questions on example 2? It does not matter. You can put 6, 0 first and then 0, 0. Yep. And in Delta Math, I actually think that they let you leave it like this because I gave y'all Math 1 level problems. I'm telling you in Math 2, you got to write them as ordered pairs. On your test, are we listening? Because I'm talking about the test. Miss Poole already made the test, so y'all listen. On your test, pull that over your nose. On your test, it says what are the coordinates / ordered pairs of the solution. So you got to write it as an ordered pair, okay? But in Delta Math, I think it lets you just type in x equals x equals. Sound good? All right. I feel like me just doing one more, y'all should be ready. What do y'all think? Like just one more and we should be good? Okay. I feel like y'all are okay with this. So last example, example 3. I am going to make it a little tricky. It's going to be fine. No one's going to freak out. They still got to call for you, baby. They still have to call for you.
No, I'm not leaving.
I know.
Who got called?
Where are you, aren't you going to the front office to pick something up? You ruining my Zoom. I'm going to have to go trim all of it. All right, example 3. What is different? It is a trinomial, but something else is different. The trinomial part doesn't matter. Y'all should know
It
how to
don't got a
factor.
Y, it got a 6.
Yes. Ooh, stop. Good. Everybody listen. There's no Y. What does it say on the other side? Equals 6. So I want you to go ahead and think to the next step. What are we supposed to put in for Y? A 0. There is no Y. So you cannot just go change this 6 to a 0. Where did the 6 go? You can't do that. Do we understand? I don't think we understand because half of y'all ain't watching. You checking your phones or your bracelets or weird mess. Pay attention. You cannot just go make this a 0 because that's not a Y. That says it equals 6. So let me ask y'all a question. Can I make the right side equal to 0? By doing what? What'd you say? Nope. The right side, baby. That's a 6. There's no way to factor a 6. Not add it. What kind of 6 is that? Yes, you do take extra credit. Everybody listen, because this is where y'all will mess up. And there is one, I think just one of these on your homework. So everybody listen. 6 is not Y. You can move that 6 to the other side, though, and then there will be nothing over here, aka what number represents nothing? 0. How do you move a positive 6? What did you say? You subtract it. Very good. So everybody look, all we're going to do is subtract the 6 over to go with the other constant. You're not going to subtract the 6 from x squared. You're going to put it with the other number. Did I confuse anybody? There wasn't a Y, there was a number, so you're just going to move the number so we can set it equal to 0. Does everybody agree 6 minus 6 is 0? So this is setting it equal to 0. Did I confuse you, Curtis? Are you okay? Okay. So now, y'all, it's just like all the other ones we've done. Bring down your x squared. Bring down your plus 3x. I'm going to move my hand so y'all can see. But instead of bringing down the negative 12, that says negative 12 minus 6, right? What's negative 12 minus 6?
Negative 18.
Negative 18. Remember, when they got the same sign, you combine the numbers. So 12 and 6 does make 18, and it'll be negative. Now, y'all know how to do this part. How do you factor a trinomial? Oh, I'm so sad. Huh? Sandwich. First of all, did you check for GCF? Y'all better, because there might be one. Hint, hint, wink, wink. Is there a GCF on this one, though? No, because there's no number in front of the x squared. What's up, baby? Negative 12 subtract 6. Not subtract negative 6. That says negative 12 minus 6. They're both negative because you're subtracting it. So when they got the same sign, you combine the numbers. 12 and 6 makes 18, and it's negative. We okay? Remember, when they got the same sign, you add. So that would be 18, and it's negative. What, baby? Oh, yeah, I'm on example 3. Whole new example. All right, children. I'm the one with ADHD, not most of y'all. Few of you got it. How y'all gonna let the ADHD person know what's going on? And I ain't on my medicine today. My brain is all over the place. All right, are we good here? I heard there was no GCF. I agree. So now, remember, Gwyneth said it's a trinomial. You sandwich it. So how does x squared break down? X and x. And then I'm going to look at the back, the 18. So I think a lot of y'all don't need to make a full tree anymore because we know how to factor. So let's make it easy. Don't blurt nothing out yet or you're going to make me mad. Don't blurt it out. Factors of 18, do not blurt it out. That subtract, I'm going to say it again, don't blurt it out because I know somebody's waiting. To make 3, what are my factors of 18 that subtract to give us 3?
6 times 3.
Yes, good job, y'all. The 5 of you that just said 6 and 3, extra credit, good job. You're getting all the points. 6 and 3. I heard you. You're getting all the points too. All right, time to call on some people. J-Lo, where do the X's go, baby? In the front. 2 parentheses, X is in the front. Jay, where did my 6 and 3 go? Huh? In the back. Good job, baby. Trying to get you some extra credit. Rodney, what kind of signs do we want if we're subtracting? Different. Good job. TJ, what he said, oh, if we want a positive 3, that means the 6 has to be, yeah, positive. And so what will our 3 be, y'all? Negative. Good job, Tyree. So there's your factors. How do you find the solutions or the x-intercepts? What do you do with each one? What's step 3? No. What's step 3?
Make them 0.
Set them equal to 0. So I heard, dang, talking is hard. Lord Jesus, pray for me. I heard Curtis say x plus 6 equals 0. And when you solve it, what are we going to get? What plus 6 equals 0? Solve it. Yeah. Yes, you're right. Some of y'all can probably do that part in your head by now. You're right. I told you we were right. If you draw your wall, cover your x, you would subtract the 6. So what's x going to equal? Negative 6. Yeah. If you're struggling on the solving part, I need you to come to tutoring because that was in unit 1. Actually, but I'm going to keep it real with y'all. That's in 7th grade because my niece is doing it right now. And then you set x minus 3 equal to 0 too, right? So what do you get for that one when you solve? Good. I heard 3. You would plus the 3 over, so x equals 3. Who do I want to talk? Josh, I ain't talked to you, boo. He's like, why are you picking on me? How do you write your answers as ordered pairs? What am I going to write? You tell me. You got it, baby. Look at your other ones. You got it. So if x is negative 6, how do I write that ordered pair? But negative 6 is the x. So that would come first. And what comes after it? He's got it. You just told me.
0.
Listen, is your name Josh?
I'm sorry.
Negative 6 comma 0. Because it's an x-intercept. So that number goes in for x. The y is 0, okay? So what's the other one going to be? 3 what? Good job, baby. Do we feel like if I gave you a quadratic, I hope we're all listening and paying attention. Do y'all feel like if I gave you a quadratic and I said find the solutions and you don't have a graph, do you think you could do it? Yes? Tay, you feel like you could do it? All right, I'm about to quiz y'all. If you get the answers wrong, we're going to do another example. So eyes up here. Y'all better pay attention and not say crazy crap. We ready? What do you do first? Put 0 in for y. What if there's not a y? You make the other side where there's a number, move the number over, make it equal to 0, right? Skylar, extra credit. Great job, baby, because half of them weren't even listening. They didn't even hear the flipping question. All right, let's make sure we're listening. Set y equal to 0, or if there's a number instead of a y, you move the number over so it's equal to 0, right? What's step 2? Factor. Factor the quadratic, the side that's squared. Good. What's step 3? Well, you just read off. I don't want you to just read. What do we do? Set them both. I heard you say it in your own words. Set them both equal to 0 and starts with an S. Solve. Do we feel like we could find solutions to quadratics by hand? You have 6 questions on your Delta Math and you have over 20 minutes. You should be able to finish in class. I'm going to stay on Zoom, my virtual kids, in case y'all have questions, okay?